Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing today? It is time for Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic is costs of imports and tariffs and legalese and manipulating and posturing and all the other things the government does. So let me go over here first and say hi to everybody and make sure I got everything taken care of here. So first one in tonight was Walt Rogers. Let's see, he checked in. I haven't seen him in yet again. He's out checking his pole barns. Troop 1351 is here. Mark is here, both as Chef Tech and Mad Chick Acres. CR is in the house. Phelan Clan Wolf is here. Geeky Gardens is here. Kaylin Strain. MB Heritage Farms is here. And Diana 2 is here. Lewis is here. It's the Marshmallow Man. And okay, I think we got, interesting. It went from 12 down to 11 people. So somebody decided, I'm done watching. All right. Okay, so tonight is going to be covering, everyone was freaking out over, the tariff wars that were going to kick off. And so some history needs to be explained about tariffs, how they work, how they've been great for the U.S., and how the World Bank, kind of sunk it. The World Bank thing, and the Fed and all that screwed over America and caused the permanent taxing of income. All right, so let's I want to cover a couple things here on it here. Yes, and this is going to be a little rabbit hole we're going down through. All right, so some of the tariffs that were thrown out there, and everybody's going, oh no. Well, we've already seen, besides these three here, let's get these three first. All right, so Colombia was talking all sorts of smack until the president said, well, no, we're going to be doing, I forget what was 25% on them, tariffs. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, we will take our criminals back. And, and if you don't do the tariff, you can send everybody back. We'll take them back. And so it doesn't look like we're going to be imposing tariffs on them because we got exactly what we wanted. We wanted to stop sending their people up here and take the ones they did send back without any problems. Venezuela, same thing, is taking their criminals back too, and they returned 6 hostages that were taken that weren't being talked about in the mainstream media. And so, we got 6 people back, and they're taking theirs back. And with Panama, Panama violated the agreement with the U.S. concerning the Panama Canal and things of which it was turned the legalese parameters, which it was turned back over to them when they had got a contract with China to run the canal for them, to manage it, and parceled off a big section of land really close to it in firing range. And now it's all gone. And so, so okay, that's millions of illegals. Yep. Happy Mac is in the house. Utah Mike is here. And so so that's just a tip of the iceberg on it. We know what happened. There were, we're going to do this, and tariffs were thrown up, and negotiations followed immediately with both our neighbors. And last I heard, as things are progressing, the tariffs may not be coming. And but one thing to understand, tariffs go back pre-Constitution. The Stamp Act was a tariff, and it was one that was placed on at the time that the King of England placed on his own people, because the political leaders over there, not him, him too, but the parliament were screaming, "We need to get money! We need to get money!" And so they were taxing the colonies, which led to the war, War of Independence and the Constitution and the new superpower coming onto the world scene. Shady Hill Homestead, hey. But over the years, tariffs have been levied, relaxed, levied, relaxed. Andrew Jackson, when he got in there, ticked off a lot of congressmen. Gee, kind of reminds me of Trump ticking off a lot of congressmen, and imposed a lot of tariffs. There was no income tax at the time. So when the tariffs were imposed, things happened. Stuff we were importing, yes, goes up. However, by the end of his term, the massive mountain of debt that Jackson inherited from the previous administration was gone. That has been the only time in American history where there has been no deficit at all, and we got a bunch more territory. We paid for a bunch more territory, and there was no deficit, thanks to tariffs. Now, pros. One of the things that happened, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so there were income taxes were temporarily established during the Civil War. Again, they were temporarily established during the First World War, and then I believe it was the Second World War they were permanently installed, because between the was it between or just prior to the First World War, the money men and their paid off lackeys in Congress changed some parameters and stuff, and changed did an amendment to the Constitution saying that tariffs could only be so high and so many, and they changed stuff, and they setting up a global banking system was being set up. Yeah, there was no debt. No, by the time that time, yeah, that's why there's a picture there, because Jackson was the only president to eliminate the debt. The squirrel moment there. So when the big money guys, Rockefeller and all the other ones and stuff, were realizing, hey, this is going to be a global market, and we need to start getting in there. And they started screwing with international funds and stuff like that. They didn't want there to be tariffs so they could make more money. And what happens is they were shipping jobs overseas, but nobody knew about it. Jobs started to be shipped overseas before World War II. And then, of course, World War II came about, and then the way they did things, they made a lot more money, and petroleum became king because Japan took over all the rubber plantations and stuff. Anyways, so it wound up, and so basically since then we've always had debt that was and should be, and it was done that way. Anyway, so and that just exacerbated, got worse and worse and worse. And then when Japan, when we were helping, to recreate Japan into a more modern society, so there wouldn't be a chance of them trying to for the emperor to try to do dominance over the area again. We wound up helping them build up their infrastructure stuff. A lot of American companies, big ones, were investing over there behind the scenes and holding stock in their companies to help them get going. And then when we had the transistor was developed here, they shipped it off over there because they could get it produced a lot cheaper, and then brought it back and made components here. And then they Japan started making the components cheaper than they could make them here. And we all know how that happened. Now, so all these jobs that have been going overseas, and we've been importing inexpensive stuff, some of it quality, some of it crap, cheap crap. And then when China got in on it, we really started importing inexpensive and cheap crap. And we got into the American people got into the mindset of, oh, everything's disposable. It's so cheap, we can just, buy a new one. Hey, we're getting shirts, cotton shirts from Pakistan and Turkey a lot cheaper than we can make them here. And, and some of that was that we were harvesting the cotton here. Once it was harvested, it was cheaper to just ship it over there, let them do all the stuff to it and bring the material back. And so we shipped a whole bunch of jobs over there. And we just keep shipping jobs overseas and keep getting cheap shit. And everyone's saying, oh, the tariffs are going to drive the price up on everything. Yeah. And it should. And we should welcome it. Why? If the price on the stuff from China and Pakistan and India and stuff becomes more expensive, all of a sudden American companies that are struggling to make stuff here, all of a sudden it's like, well, the cheap crap from overseas costs more than what we're making it for. And everybody will start buying their stuff. So we'll start buying American again. And when we start buying more American products, volume dictates lower prices. So the companies will grow, be able to sell, better products, more of them, a little bit cheaper, and the tariffs are still keeping the price up on the imports, so the imports can't compete with the American-made stuff, and all of a sudden jobs are going to start coming back. Now, a lot of the stuff from Europe prior to World War II were luxury items. They weren't necessities. They were luxury items. Because the necessities had the necessities that we were making here, and they were trying to sell here cheaper, we put tariffs on to bring up or higher than what was being sold here in the U.S. So, it wasn't, there wasn't that much stuff coming in, and we were buying all American-made stuff. Now, there's a lot of economists saying it, and there are and Trump has mentioned it, and Elon has mentioned it, that if we raise tariffs on everything, coming to the United States. Sorry, Canada. If we raise tariffs on everything coming into the United States, especially from Japan, China, Indonesia, Turkey, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all the other countries type stuff, raise it up. If we raise the prices up, the tariffs up 35%, just go over this for a second, 35%. And then and so we have all this money coming from tariffs now. Oh, wait a minute, we don't have to charge income tax, so we can cut income tax down to a flat 5 or 10% or eliminate it altogether. And we're getting more money from the tariffs than we were collecting from the American people in taxes. All of a sudden, the prosperity is going to go up, like Mark said, because right now, what percentage of your income is going to federal taxes? You're looking, like 40% at least. And so if you have, okay, I pay 40% taxes, or I pay 30% on increased prices for stuff overseas, but then I just shop around, get stuff American, so I'm not paying that high price. I'm saving more money, and I can buy more stuff, and I can buy more American stuff, and I can do, and then all of a sudden the American stuff, the prices start coming down because they start volume producing. And yeah, things will change around. And like you tell Mike and Mark is saying about the today's youth ethic. Well, the problem is they've been raised in a disposable mindset of oh no, my iPhone here, I need to get a new one. It's better updates, and I can get rid of it, spend another $600 or however much, $800 for a new iPhone, because it's disposable. Cars, with so much plastic and crap in them, they're disposable. It's not like the 65 Dodge Power Wagon I had until, when did we get rid of that? Okay, it was 93, I think it was. So in 90, it was later than 93. All right. So I think it was about 96, I think it was. I got rid of it because I didn't have room for it. Not because it wasn't good. It's just that we didn't have room for it. We had a family, started doing, a family was growing, babies and stuff, and no more position for a bench seat, a single bench seat pickup. And so, but the truck was still going good, and got rid of it. And so, because I needed, crew cab to haul, to haul the family around in and use as a work truck as well. So this is one of those things that just, there are things that we have moved into disposable crap now. That is just, it's like, oh, a car reaches 20 years old, it's falling apart. If it reaches 20 years old nowadays, it's falling apart. Things going wrong. Electronics are breaking on it. The power locks are breaking on it. The power windows on it. My wife, back in December, had a Buick Regal. Anyway, she had a car, and things were starting to break on it. All the disposable stuff on it was breaking on it. And it was two-wheel drive, it's a sedan. And it was she was like, okay, it's going to cost so much just to keep it going for another 3 years. And it's, she, priced out, started going to mechanic shops, getting prices, estimates to get stuff done on it. And she goes, screw it. It's time to get rid of it, because it's not going to last, in 3 to 5 years, I'm going to have to repair a whole bunch more stuff on it. And so she wound up got a new Oh, Honda Pilot. I'm not sure. She got a four-wheel drive Honda SUV that she can pack all the grandkids in, and when she gets up here, and she goes, all right, this is going to be the last vehicle I buy. She hopes, and so and that thing is with the kids. The kids, oh, I kind of work 6 hours a day, 4 days a week. Oh man, that's terrible. Because their parents were getting disposable stuff and weren't making them get a job as teenagers. And I'm just looking at I agree with the comments going on there in the side chat. And so some of the things to realize that tariffs is actually going to be good for the American economy in the long run and good for the American people, but it's going to be bad for professional politicians and international companies that are ripping us off by outsourcing stuff to foreign countries and bringing it back in and selling it as if it was made here in America and pocketing insane amounts of wealth. This try to find. I gotta find something here. See if I can find it here. Dang, I had an arc. Did I close that? Shoot, I think I closed that by mistake. I think I closed that by mistake. There was a thing showing a report showing how much money certain companies made that have American manufacturing and a lot more foreign manufacturing, and they bring the stuff in. And they used to just bring in parts from Mexico and assemble it here in the United States, or parts from Canada, or parts from Japan, or parts from Europe, and assemble it here in the United States. Now they're just assembling everything over there and bringing it in. And John Deere is one that jumps to mind. And they're just they're cramming so much modern computerized crap into it. Oh, it does this, and this, so we're going to charge this much more, even though it only costs this much more. So instead of going this, they go whoop. Yeah, that's the other problem too. Who's it? 70. Oh yeah, and the same thing. All right, there were several memes, and I've talked about them before in videos and stuff, reels and stuff, where the guy had an old, I'm talking a 50s refrigerator, freezer, took the door off, plugged it in, because basically you had one door on it, had the little ice box with a separate little door on it. Then that's what kept the refrigerator cool, but also kept the ice cream or the ice cold enough to freeze. And he ran that for a blank period of time with watt meters on it to see how much power was drawn, and ran his energy efficient Energy Star house refrigerator with a meter on it for the same period of time. And he calculated out that to run the old one with the door off cost him less than $10 more a month than it did to run the Energy Star one with the doors on. So if he had the door on the old one, it would have been a lot cheaper. And that's the other problem with the ease of convenience of stuff we get, with the frost-free. Basically, it's heating as it's cooling. And so, yeah, it's a freeze dryer. It's heating while it's cooling. And it, to keep the frost build up, you're paying extra for extra in energy every day. Uh, yeah. Yeah. But there was, some company, I'm not sure it was which company it was reporting billions. They think they had something like $6 billion in profit, not gross income, profit after everything's taken down, and that's profit. You know, and that also include. I mean, so that also included employee expenses, everything they're paying. That was the bottom line net profit was $6 billion. I wish I could remember which company that was. I wish I could find that report again. Thing. So yeah, if these companies are bringing in so much cheap material and products from overseas, and there are still small companies trying to manufacture that stuff here in the United States and are struggling, and so the United States have to raise their prices up, and so hey, the guys have bringing the money in from bringing the clothing in from overseas. So, well, the American made stuff is this much, so we're going to bring ours up to this much, so we're cheaper than theirs. But instead of selling for the normal markup down here, we're going to market up here. We're going to make a buku more money, and that's what they're doing. And so we need to make sure that that import stuff that they're raising it from here up to here, that the tariffs raise it up to here. Now the American made stuff is, that's cheaper and much more desirable, and the money from the tariffs can fund the government, and then we can lower or eliminate the income tax. What was that other one here? And along with that, is this comes to mind. So yeah, if we eliminate all the fraud and that's in there, and the stuff that's coming back to the politicians, yeah, we could eliminate over at least $1 trillion a year from the debt, which would start reducing the debt immediately, and then tariffs would reduce it more. And then if they started it right now and started being able to do it now, in 2 years, we could just about be debt free in the United States. Oh, but that's going to cause all sorts of problems for other countries. Who gives a about? It's going to make our dollar worth more, yeah, and we're going to be a stronger country. Oh, but if you travel overseas, you're going to have to pay a lot more, whatever. I'm sorry, there's so much in America that I need to, if I needed a vacation to go around and look at stuff, I could spend the next 20 years vacationing 365 days a year in the United States and not see everything in the United States. I don't need to go overseas. I'm sorry. I might go to Canada because Canada got some cool stuff I would want to see up there. But I don't need to go to Europe. I don't need to go to Japan. I don't need to go to South Korea. Yeah, we stop sending stuff over there and fix our stuff here first. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, guys, you want to join us? Here's what you do. we're not going to give you money to do it, but we will send advisors in to teach you how to do it to become wealthy like us. And the problem is, like, the stuff that is American made is being sold at such small amounts, they can't do the volume productions to make it cheaper like we used to do. And that's why they sent all the clothing manufacturing, electronics, everything that's been shipped overseas, all the millions and millions of jobs that have been shipped overseas has impacted our economy in ways that most people don't realize, because, oh, I can get this big huge 42-inch flat screen TV on sale at Wally World for $115. Skookum Ranch, hey, welcome. And so that's one of the things that people are buying into, the panic being put out by the mainstream media and the professional politicians of the Democratic Party, who are raking in billions of dollars into their little funds and stuff, that, oh, the tariffs are bad for the United States economy. No, they're not. In the long run, they're going to be absolutely fabulous for the American economy, and they're going to be fabulous for the American people. Yeah, we're going to have to bite the bullet for several years, because we've gotten into this stupid, we're going to buy everything made overseas and not buy anything that's American made. Now, one of the things that will really help out is when they clean out the USDA and the Department of Agriculture, get it cleaned out of all the crooked people there, and clean out the FDA, and all of a sudden start giving instead of paying farmers not to grow crops and stuff, pay them to grow crops, and throw huge tariffs on importing crops and food and stuff, and block the exporting of food and crops. If they're trying to say, oh, we need to import beef from here, but we're going to export beef. No, we're not going to export any beef. We're going to keep the beef here, and we're going to not import that beef. That way we're doing good. What happened down in Mexico, we were having a lot of beef brought in from Mexico. 43% was coming in from Mexico. Now that suddenly that stopped, because some sort of hookworm thing was found in some of the ranches in southern Mexico, so all beef from Mexico was cut off. And now you're going to see a spike again of beef prices, because 43% of the beef coming in is no longer coming in. Unfortunately, they're still exporting beef out, that the professional politicians have brokered deals to ship it out. They need to say, no, sorry, those deals are off. We're keeping that beef here. That's what we need to do. And what places the beef is going is insane. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, some of the country, they don't need to be buying our beef. They can buy the beef from Mexico. And that's the thing is, so we need to, and just work it. And when the United States economy grows, then we can turn around and help Canada's grow, if they get rid of the dingleberries up there, which I know Lewis wants to get rid of the dingleberries quicker than you can sneeze at. Same thing with CR. They want to get rid of the dingleberries. And, that's what I think is, professional politicians is the bane of the world. Because although the politician who's making $170,000 a year in 4 years suddenly has several $1 million in his bank account, needs to be looked at. And, originally, politicians, Congress, were not paid at all. They were not paid at all. I'm not sure. I forgot to look up when Congress first started getting paid. Let me see if I can find that. When did come on. All right, give me also a start. When did U.S. Congress start getting paid? Framers of the Constitution consider a proposal when struggling with the sensitive issue of congressional pay. In 1789, Congress would pay senators and representatives $6 for each day they attended session. If they didn't attend session, they didn't get paid. Before long, senators insisted they deserved higher pay rate than those in the House. And there it began. All right, so so in 1789, it was a $6 per diem. Then in 1815, it was $1,500 per annum, which I guess annually, yeah, $1,500 annually. Then it went in 1817, 2 years later, it went to $6 per diem. Then it went in 1855 to 1865, it was $3,000 per annum. Then 1865 to 71 was $5,000. Then 71 to 73 was $7,500. 73 to 2000 to 73 to 1907. So 30, 25. It was 5,000. Then it from 1907 to 1925, it went up to 7,500. Then during the Roaring 20s, it jumped from 7,500 to 10,000. And then the Great Depression came and it dropped to, the 32 to 33 dropped to 9,000. Then 33 to 35 dropped to 8,500. Then 35 to 47 rose back up to 10,000. 47 to 55 rose up to 12,000 per annum. 55 to 65 was it almost doubled. From 54 to 55, it doubled to 2250 per annum. Then in 65, it went up to 30. 69, it went up to 42,000. 75, it went up to 44,000, and keeps going up. And then in the 90s, it just started climbing. 99 was 125,000. 92 was 129,000. 93 was 133,000. Didn't change for 94 or for 94 and 5. Next time it changed for 98, it went up to 136,000. Yeah, and so it's right now it's 100, and it's been 174,000 since. Oh, it's actually stuck for a while here. Since 2009, it's been 174,000 per year for senators. So this is, and it was a volunteer position. They used to not get paid. They did it out of patriotism, and they usually only stayed for senators, 1, 2, or 3 terms. Sometimes 4 representatives because they have 2-year terms were longer. But still, and you wonder where the debt comes, how they got greedy. Oh, we can vote ourselves pay raises. But the basic pay raises since 2009 hasn't gone up. It's been 174,000. But there's been a whole bunch of perks added on there that's not included in that. That adds another $50,000-$60,000 to their income that is perks. All right, I'm done rattling for myself. Here comes the link. Get ready, guys. Here's the link. And I'm married to an accountant. Okay, so I've been having this stuff beating my head from her, and then when I had to get my general engineering contractor's license, I had to have a lot of finance beaten to my head on that too, and pass a bunch of state tests for that as well. So, yeah. Yeah, lifetime health benefits, and they don't have to pay for it. Hey, Mark.
Hey, sorry, I changed my my picture. Didn't want to confuse you there.
So and my personal thing is they should be just like any other federal employee. They pay a percentage. The government pays this percentage of the same health care.
No, they get better health care. They don't get Obamacare.
No. Well, I don't get Obamacare either, but they need to get the same thing that I get and pay the same amount that I have to pay out of my own pocket.
Yeah, well, there is that. Hey, anybody see the amount? I live in the area. The amount of houses that went on the market in the D.C. area, like Anne Arundel County and all the counties surrounding it in Maryland, within the last 2 weeks, it is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of $1 million mansions went on the market within 2 weeks.
Yeah,
they're all running scared now because they know they're going to lose it. Better sell it now and
sell it now. Move the money into a trust. And managed by another trust, managed by a LLC, managed by another trust. That way, they can't find out where it is
in another country. Yeah,
yeah. And so Steve's here. What's up, working Steve? While eating. Hey, Steve, I hope you don't lose your dinner listening to this.
Man. I don't think he'll lose his dinner listening to this one.
Yeah, that's right. He's the Marine. He's tough.
He's eating crayons. It's okay.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I had to say it. They brought that up this afternoon on Jaren's channel. It's like, I don't have any crayons left. The Marines ate them all. I'm like, oh my
god. Here comes Lewis. Maybe it's blank.
He's trying.
There he is.
Hey.
That's that Canadian Wi-Fi they got up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what Kaylin said, where to go. That is what Waters and a bunch of the others are afraid of. They're trying to put a spin of it. Doge is trying to get all the information on individual Americans. No, that's the IRS. Doge is trying to find out what they're doing with that information, and Doge is also trying to find out what Congress is doing, not what the American people are doing. They're trying to find out what Congress is doing, what sort of backdoor deals, and what sort of money is coming everywhere else. And it's like, what pisses me off the most that I know about, Miss Plastic Face awarded the committee she's on awarded so many friggin' contracts to her husband's company.
Yeah, train to know the rail to nowhere or whatever it was. Yeah.
Well, no, not that. Before that. We're talking before that. And, he wound up being worth, $200 million, just what can be traced.
Yeah, he got money out of the money they were giving away during 2020 and 2021 for that thing. He got money out of that too. Went nowhere. Went to him and them. They're all going to be.
That's there's a lot. There are a lot of ex-military generals and colonels saying, they keep saying the military hasn't met an audit yet. The exception being that the Marine Corps passed a couple of audits when no one else did.
That's because crayons are cheap. Sorry, I'm going to keep saying that.
Don't forget the coloring books.
It's the crayons are for coloring and for eating. Steve's gonna ban me from his channel any second now.
My propane's gone up over $100 in the last couple of months.
Oh, jeez.
How many gallons is that?
I'm not sure, but I know I spent last month. I spent just under $500, and the month before that, I spent just over $500, and it can't be any more than 500 liters.
Yeah.
And this month, I spent just might as well call it $600 for it. So I called up the propane company and asked them why, and it's just the way it is. And I think it's because I understand why Trump might be putting tariffs, right? Mm-hmm. But I think Canada's starting to prepare for those tariffs coming along.
Yeah. And what's going to happen is if the deal gets worked out completely,
you'll be a state.
Sorry. Yeah. Hang on. Here comes a comment from Steve. Words hard.
Words hard. Thinky hurt.
No, but it's coloring in the pictures. Coloring in the pictures.
My thinky hurts. Stop.
Oh. I'm looking something up here. Ellie.
It's almost $10 for 30 eggs.
Yeah.
And depending what you're getting down here, I mean, I'm different. I get it locally from one of my wife's friends. I'm getting 18 eggs for $4 or $5, but they're her eggs from her chickens. I mean, there's still feathers stuck to some of them. I'm good with that, and I don't have to put them in the fridge. They just sit on the counter for like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks till we're done with them, or I freeze dry them. Yay.
Yeah. Okay, it's not telling me. I'm looking on something here. It's the place here in Perth and the one up in Shelley is called Hard Times gas station and mini mart. That's where they have the propane at. Propane is it's not saying propane right now. It says regular gasoline is $3.15 a gallon.
Jeez. Well, that's about it down here too in Maryland.
Yeah. Okay, here's U.S. residential propane price. U.S. residential propane price is at a current level of $2.74 a gallon, up from $2.73.9, and up from 260.1 a year ago. So from last year to this year, it's gone up about 13 cents for propane on general. But then that's residential. What they pay for it, filling it at the stores for the gallons is different. Now, if I could, like in California, there, Ace, Home Depot had the propane exchange. Ace Hardware and the RV places had the tank fills.
So watch those propane bottle swaps. They're all the same. They don't put 20 pounds or gallons. They put 15 pounds in there. And no, it's in fine print on the sign. I actually read it 4 or 5 weeks ago. I was like, really? That's why they don't last as long, because there's nothing in there.
The point is, the prices there was this much. However, there were Suburban Propane and AmeriGas, which were, I got to drive a half mile farther. And their prices were down here. Their prices filling up at their big facility was what they were charging to go out and fill up the big tanks for people, that aren't on natural gas.
Yeah, or the businesses,
Yeah. So but around here, they have so many people, just about every gas station seems to have a propane tank there. So I can't find the big place to go to. And it's just, if I can find out where the big place is, no one seems to know. If I can find out where the big place is, and so go there and say, hey, all right, I need to get these. I got 2 tanks here. I need to have new valves put on and hydro test them. And then I also need to get everything filled. I could probably get it for 25 cents a gallon cheaper at the big place if I could find it. Oh, let me look up. I'm going to look something else up here real quick here since that came in. My daughter's has chickens gave up selling, laying eggs. They went through and they bought a bunch of others and they harvested some of them. And then the ones they harvested, they didn't close the door on the chicken. Harvested the new chicks and stuff they put out there. They didn't close the door on the thing. And that guy sitting right there on the screen climbed the fence, went into the chicken house and killed a bunch of chickens. Yeah, you're a raccoon there, Mark. All right, let's see here. I'm going to check eggs here at Sam's Club here in Idaho Falls. Eggs. Let's see what it shows up here. All right, 2 dozen eggs is $9.24 for 2 dozen eggs.
Jeez.
That's the white ones. Cage free. Member Mark's cage free is $9.24 for 2 dozen. The Members Mark organic cage free grade A large brown is $9.24.
Cage free doesn't mean free range, but anyway.
Yeah, I know. It means they're, instead of being little cages, they're in a big cell block.
Yeah, they're just in a giant. Yeah, they're in a giant cell block, bumping into each other to try to get whatever food and water they can find. And
holy crap! Members Mark cage-free AA large white eggs, the 5 dozen pack, out of stock.
Of course, people are buying truckloads of them.
Yeah.
They probably went on sale, probably cheaper, and they bought 400 dozen and left.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember when the 5 dozen was less than $9. I think it was $5 for the 5 dozen.
I'm old enough to remember when a 30 dozen case at the restaurant was $18.
Yeah. Well, see, that was just since I've been up here. That's just since I've been up here, Let me check something else here. I'm going to check Chef Store. That's the thing is with the if we'd stopped selling stuff, these corporations selling, the chickens, the eggs and stuff overseas at cheaper than when it's being sold wholesale here. That's criminal. KP Heathen's in the house. Ken says stores are finally limiting purchases. Yeah, they should be. All right, let's go into the Chef Store and look up, search for eggs. Come on. Eggs. Oh. Beef and eggs are some of the trending things there. Okay, holy shit. Okay, I'm going to share this one. Guys, hang on to your chairs so you don't fall out of your chairs.
Yep.
5 dozen eggs, $47. 15 dozen eggs, $140.
Holy crap.
15 dozen.
Yeah, and it's 30 dozen in a regular case, so that's, geez.
Yeah,
and so I don't even think they sell the 30 dozen case box anymore.
All right, this is the Sunshine eggs, shell large, okay, free loose pack 15. All right, for the one here in the middle here, if you get 3 units of it, it's $140.89, so it's 89 cents. Getting the 15 dozen, this 89 cents more getting the 15 dozens this way compared to whatever this is supposed to look like. Liquid eggs.
Nope.
They got hard boiled eggs and the peeled hard boiled eggs and stuff as well. Cage-free large eggs. So a
18 pack, $15. Holy crap!
It's a dozen and a half. Yeah. Yeah, so that's eggs at the Chef Store here, but they still have them in stock.
Well, they're going up because they keep killing all the chickens for.
Thank you, Fong. What Phyllis Fong? Yeah, I wonder how much money she got out paid for doing that.
Somebody paid her to make us hungry. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, CR should be dropping out any time now. He said he's going to drop out at the top of the hour. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So don't let the mainstream media and the demon rats fool you, saying that tariffs are going to ruin the American economy. The tariffs so far that have been going in place have been used as a bargaining chip. And we need to slap heavy tariffs on the cheap crap, disposable crap from overseas that is not a necessity, and other places for stuff like shirts and jeans and stuff like that, and shoes, and make it so American companies like Red Wing and Carolina Shoe and stuff like that can their stuff can become the normal. I mean, it's like still the last pair of Red Wing shoes I got, boots, lasted me 9 years, and I was going through the $59 specials at Walmart every 4 months. So I convinced my wife, look how much I'm spending a year. And I bought the other ones for $223, and they lasted me 9 years.
So I get, my company gives me a voucher to get work boots through Red Wing. I get the Works high top zipper sides, And they'll last. I mean, I wear them at work every day, but they'll last me 2-3 years. I mean, they look like crap after 3 years, but they give me a voucher every year, so I got enough boots to last me, a few decades.
And the thing is, after 2 or 3 years, I bet it's the soles that are wearing out, not the sides and not the uppers. It's the soles, right? And you go down to a local shoe repair place, get new soles on it, and wait a minute. Now these soles, these special soles are going to last you 4 years.
I actually tried that because I melted the center of my right foot because I put it on a steam pipe, didn't know it, smelled something, went, uh-oh, and I got another pair of boots out of it. I still have them, and I took it to a couple places. I'm like, can you put new soles on it? And they're like, no, because nobody does shoe repair anymore. It's like hardly anybody.
Yeah, you got to find a place. I have a place in Martinez, California. The guy's not only a shoe repair guy, he's a leather worker too, and he makes holsters and everything else. Does shoe repair, all really cool stuff. The guy here I found in Idaho Falls. I took one. It was Irish Setter, that brand that Red Wing started selling. Turns out those are made overseas. And it's got the plastic weld on it instead of the leather weld. Took it in there, he goes, can't repair these.
Nope.
Because it's got the plastic weld on there, and that's what's breaking on yours here too.
I think that's the problem with my boots is how they're not stitched on like a normal boot. They are, but they're not because they're glued on. But you can't get them off.
Yeah. Problem is, my out of date propane tanks are 30 pounders, not 20 pounders. I already changed all my 20 pounders in.
You can get.
However, interesting.
Propane place. I said, "Do you recertify tanks?" He's like, "Yeah, bring it in." They check the date, check the valve. They put something in it briefly. And they're like, if it still holds, you're good. You're certified. They'll fill it.
And the down here at Hard Times, they don't check the dates. They'll fill anything you bring in. However, the last time I took in one, I got 2 really ancient ones. Took those in, and I had a feeling that one of the ones I had the last time I took it in started leaking a little bit. This time it started leaking a little bit more, so I had the little adapter. I screwed that in there, so like a little T adapter for putting the small 1 pound type fittings on there.
Right.
Held it, and I'll just hook my Mr. Heaters up to that, but I got to find a place around here that'll do that, or I got to take them. Or actually, I could, I could do it myself. I could just order the part online, the old school without the little safety thing on it, the same type they have on them. Order that, bleed it all the way off. I use it all the way dry, bleed it off, go out in the middle of the field where there's nothing around, unscrew it off. Have the other one already taped and doped up, put it back on, screw it on, and I'm good for another 15, 20 years. Kaylin's still wearing the Merle she paid 6 years ago. Get down to the bottom here. So Prepper 101 is in here. Ferocious is in here. But I just, I want to see, if the tariffs get placed properly and selectively, not just for bargaining chips, but for actually stop the flow of cheap crap into the country.
Yeah,
and give the American companies that are struggling trying to do stuff the incentive and the ability to grow and produce here and make it. And then start slapping the auto companies, slap the auto manufacturers. Say, hey, no, cars coming in from out of the country, 75% tariff on it. Stop that shit.
And
if you're an American company, Ford, GM, Dodge, Chrysler, you manufacture here. You bring it in from a manufactured different country, those vehicles have a 75% tariff on it. Stop that shit now. Start producing here in the U.S. All parts for your autos have to be made here in the U.S.
Yep.
And you know what's so funny? I think for me, my warped sense of humor. Oh, but the circuit boards and stuff are made overseas. Don't put that crap in the car.
Yeah.
Go back. You don't need that crap. Put keys in all the doors again.
Your computer needs an update. Why? What changed on my car? I've been driving it for 2 years. All of a sudden needs an update for what? Oh, for your emissions. Oh, to make it get worse gas mileage, so I buy a new car. Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's that stuff needs to go away. Personally, I think all the cars should lose all the electronics out of them. They don't need it. You don't need that shit.
I need a driver's seat module to make sure that my little butt heater is still working.
Yeah. Oh, butt heaters. This car is the first car I ever got one that had one, and I'd be just as happy with. I've actually turned it off and disconnected it under the seat. I don't need to have an accidental fire starting under my butt.
Oh, but don't worry. There's 38 network safeties on that with temperature probes and sensors everywhere to keep that from happening. And that's an extra $4,000. Yeah. Anyway, I can go on all day about that with my Ford stuff. Now, if the EPA would knock back their stupid regulations every time you turn around, they add another regulation for manufacturing stuff because it makes it too expensive for you to run. So you shut down and go overseas. Huh. I wonder if they're connected.
Yeah. Anywho's, yeah. So that's hope everybody got something about the history of tariffs from the beginning and how during Andrew Jackson we had no income tax, no debt, tariffs paid for everything, and we bought land.
And didn't he get rid of one of the central banks back then too? Of course, then we got another one, but yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. They were trying to do crap back then too. I'm going to check something to make sure I get the proper one here. Oh, shoot. The Kentucky edition became known as the Jackson Purchase, larger parts of Tennessee, West Tennessee. So Tennessee and Kentucky, parts of them were brought in under there. Let me check. Trying to say here. What was the other one here?
Yeah, Diana. Biden was one of the ones that voted to tax Social Security.
I can tell you Trudeau's starting to get upset with the tariffs. One time on the news, he said right out loud, "There's not a snowball's chance in hell Canada's for sale."
Well,
you can tell he wanted to say something else.
He doesn't even run your country anymore, so, why is he even talking?
Yeah. Well, the question I have is why is the Prime Minister of was it Alberta meeting privately with Trump and the majority leaders of the Senate and House?
Oops.
Yeah, I think there's a shady deal going on there.
It's uncanny how Trudeau looks so much like Fidel Castro. Totally uncanny. and his mother was down in Cuba right about 9 months before he was born. So,
oh, checked off. Hey, checked off.
not for
Checked
sale,
off says not for free.
You're all gonna have to pay to come to us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, all right. We're gonna wrap this up here. So let me grab the schedule coming up here. All right. So Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound is first time pressure canning. Here on Tactical Tuesday is going to be lithium batteries, talking about quality matters and how the cheap crap coming from Canada is exploding. Not Canada, sorry, China.
Oh, wait. Canada doesn't have cheap crap. They have good stuff. We just get overcharged and they won't send it to us.
Thursday night is the Midnight Ride. Friday on Camp Patton is Homestead Focus. Everything at a shot, or one thing at a time, or how you're going to prioritize your homestead expansion. Next Saturday here. All right. What is your dream specialty gear? So everybody, make a list of your dream specialty gear.
Third gear. It's a 27-to-1 ratio. Third gear is my specialty gear. Oh wait, wrong. I'm thinking mechanical. Sorry.
Really, I thought my specialty gear was my 3-speed Brownie.
Yeah. Slow, medium, and crank it until you sweat.
No, it goes on behind the transfer case and the normal 4-speed transmission. Yeah, no, between the transfer case and the 4-speed transmission. That way I can redline at 1.5 miles an hour, or I can do 110 before I hit fourth gear. Yeah, 1965 Dodge Power Wagon. Woohoo! The one I got rid of. Yeah, that's what's coming. Oh, hey, if I'd had more land, I would have kept it. If I had a half acre instead of a third acre, I would have had it. I also would have had the 1941 chain drive Peterbilt. And I would have had my John Deere tractor too, for when I came up here. All right, so folks, that's what's coming up. And so we will see y'all later. Hopefully see you on Monday for first time pressure canning. Take care, everyone.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.